Shout out to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kop-Ish.
Good evening, lovely people. Hope you're well and welcome back to another match preview. The team that we're about to play, the last time we played them, they scored 7 against us. After we play them, after we play them again on Saturday, there'll be 7 games left in the Premier League. And if they beat us at Anfield, it will be 7 games in a row we'd have lost at Anfield. So the theme of the show is 7s, it seems. But there's 4 of us on the panel. Obviously, me, Matt, and Drifty as always, and we're delighted to be joined by the one, the only, Dave LFC's Chats. How are you doing, brother?
I'll tell you what, lads, before I go on a rant, I just want to say congratulations to you boys for 20k subs. Drifty, Matt, Callum, you boys are on fire.
Thank you, bro.
Appreciate that, Dave. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And guys, if you haven't checked out Dave's channel, make sure you do that after the show. Go and subscribe as well and support him. Dave has probably got alongside Matt, actually, has got the best laugh in football YouTube. So, and Dave doing some great stuff over there. So it's an absolute pleasure having you on. So, guys, let's get straight into it. I'll be honest, I usually come on the show and I think, yeah, I'm going to crack a joke about this, going to crack a joke about that. I've got no joke. I've got no material. I'm the guy on the stage right now holding the mic and people are throwing stuff at him saying, get off the stage, because I've got no jokes, because there is no laughing matter when it comes to Liverpool at the moment. The game against Real Madrid, I mean, you can lose against Real Madrid, but there's losing and there's getting just absolutely destroyed. And we got absolutely destroyed, let's be honest. And what's probably more annoying about that game is that was needed to build a bit of momentum going into this game against Aston Villa. Now, Dave, as our guest, I'm going to come to you first. Going into this game, we obviously need a win to keep our top 4 hopes alive. Now, Aston Villa have played 1 less game than Liverpool.
Yeah. And
they are 5 points behind us. So they can't actually overtake us in the table. However, a loss against Villa means that we could potentially lose ground on West Ham, Chelsea and Tottenham. And potentially Everton if they win their game in hand as well. Dave, is this the biggest game of our season so far?
Yes. And I'll tell you why. It's actually because losing to Madrid midweek gave this game even more importance, I think, because of the fact it's at Anfield, which our Anfield form, as you know, I think we could lose 7 in a row if we lost, which I'm not thinking we're going to lose, but I mean, our Anfield form is just dreadful at the moment, and we need a win here. Not even a performance. We actually just need to get the 3 points, I think. But if we got a performance and 3 points, it'd be even better, because it would go forward onto the Madrid game and give us confidence for the Madrid game, which I think we still have a chance, by the way. I just think it's huge. They beat us 7-2 earlier in the season, as we all know. I mean, I'm still having nightmares about that result. That was just crazy. That actually was the personification of 2020, that result. That was crazy. That was 2020 craziness, which like last year was, and this year probably is like as well. But I mean, 7-2 against Villa. And I just think we need a result badly. It's a traditional 3 o'clock kickoff on the Saturday, which you rarely get anymore. Yeah. We just need to get a win there, any which way. I think there will be changes. I think there'll definitely be 2 or 3 changes at least. But we need to get a win and carry it forward, because this game will actually, I think, dictate the Madrid game.
Yeah, very true, Dave. I mean, Matt, obviously, the 7-2 at the beginning of the season or early into the season. Do you think that just not necessarily derailed our season, but do you think that sort of opened the door for other teams to sort of realize we aren't the same team that we were last season? And do you think that was the start of a demise for us?
I don't think it was. I don't think teams looked at us and thought Liverpool can be got at, because I still feel like everyone in world football we're either saying it's just a freak result. It just happened. It's happened to one of the best teams in the last how many years. They just got a hiding, innit? Like, we just received a hiding.
Yeah.
Yes. I suppose when you beat any team 7-2, the opposition teams that are going to go and play that team might think, well, if Aston Villa can beat them potentially, then maybe we can have a go. But what I think you got to remember is that when we played Aston Villa, if I'm not mistaken, we didn't have the injuries that we have right now. That's what derailed our season. I will always go back to the Everton game because for me, that's the game that derailed our season. That's the game where Van Dijk got taken out for the season. That's also the game where Thiago got his knee got blown out by Richarlison, whatever his name is. That guy over in Merseyside Blue. That's the game for me that I always look at and think, man, if we could turn back the hands of time and like change some events in that game, things may have been different. Obviously, things have happened and transpired since then, but I don't know, man. This game for me worries me if Grealish plays, because when Grealish plays for Aston Villa, he gives them that extra bit of sauce that they just need. He gives them that lift, and he, for me, there. Yeah, go on.
So that's where I was going to stop you. Apparently, so I've got a shout out to Imran for this. Apparently, he's not going to be available for this game.
If he's not available, it makes me feel a little bit better. Aston Villa is still a very, very good side. They are. But I'm going to be real.
We said that. We said this about Varane, though.
This is what I was going to say. But I'm going to be real, though. If they went back to that whole Ollie Watkins down the middle, Grealish left, and I think it might be Bertrand Traore on the right-hand side, I'm not going to lie to you. Those front three there on their day would just cause us problems because of the centre-back pairing that we have. And again, I don't want to moan too much about our defence, but our defence have to be on it. Ollie Watkins will test our defence just simply because of he never gives up. He's a bit like Newcastle striker Callum Wilson in the sense of he will just run all day long and pressurise the centre-back. So we have to be on our P's and Q's for this game. If not, it's going to be a long even at Anfield. I'm more like, and here's the thing that worries me the most though. They were the last team to give us our heaviest defeat. If I'm not mistaken, we've only scored one goal at Anfield, and that was via a penalty. I'll leave it there.
Thanks for leaving on that bombshell, man. Much appreciated, bro. Drift, obviously, looking at Aston Villa's team, Jack Grealish is their standout star, and he walks into pretty much every team in the Premier League at the moment with how his form's been this season. But you look at players like Ollie Watkins, who's having a good season, Traore, Barkley started the season really well. It's kind of fizzled out. McGinn, who's been excellent. Louise, who plays in the midfield as well. And then you look at their centre-backs, Mings and Konza, who have been excellent this season. Their fullbacks have been really good. Also, their goalkeepers, in my opinion, Martinez has been the best goalie in the league this season as well. Who do you think is their main player now if Jack Grealish isn't able to make it, and who's the one that we really need to watch out for?
I don't think they have one. I just think as a team they just play well as a collective. I think Grealish is their X factor, but without Grealish, even if Grealish plays, I still think they still play as a team. I think just because Grealish has moments of brilliance, it doesn't mean they're a one-man team in that regard. I give them more credit than that. I think they play well as a team. I think they have individuals who do the odd thing. Like, was it Trezeguet? What was the game the other? I think it was Trezeguet.
Fulham.
Score two,
Yeah,
came off the bench,
and he came off the bench and he came up with two goals. And if memory serves me right, one of them was a really good goal as well. So they have a few individuals. McGinn can always put one in the top corner. They have individuals, but I believe they play as a team. I don't think they're a team where you literally, if you stop that guy, then you stop the whole team. It's not really like that, to be honest. I think that's why they've kept the momentum up for the whole season and why they are where they are. They win both of their games in hand, they can go fifth, right? Or something like that.
No, so I'm just looking at the table now. So they're on 29 games. So they only played one less game than us. They're on 44 points. We're on 49.
Yeah.
So they
can't
have
actually 2 games left to play.
No.
Yeah, it's just the one. So them and Everton have a game in hand on everyone else in the top half of the league. If Everton win their game in hand, they can leapfrog us. but they still can't get into the top 4. They'll only be a point ahead of us.
But obviously, if Villa beat us and then win their game in hand, they'll have swung 6 points, so they'll be ahead of us. Yeah. So either way, Villa can still actually be ahead of us in the table at the last furlong or whatever you want to call it. So, I just think they play well as a team. I just think they play well as a team. I don't think Grealish playing. The thing is, Grealish not playing might be the worst thing that could happen to us, because we seem to be a team who need motivation, and maybe we think, we can win it now. Grealish ain't playing, and then it'll actually work against us. Who knows? I don't know. If I'm being completely honest with you, that Real Madrid game has thrown me off in terms of, I always knew that we were playing poorly in terms of we weren't finishing, and maybe the confidence was a bit low. And the odd other thing that has happened this season, but that Madrid game knocked me for sixes, because I've never watched Liverpool under Klopp especially, but I don't even remember the last time in general, look like a team who didn't even believe that they could do anything. I don't remember the last time I watched Liverpool look so intimidated by the opposition. I don't remember it. I can go back to any game over the last 5-6 years of recent memory, or maybe even beyond that, but I won't go back that far for the sake of time. I cannot remember us looking intimidated and just looking inferior in the way we played, and by how it looked like attitude-wise and application and just everything about it. And to me, that's just let me know that it's time to I'm on autopilot now. I've checked out now. The team ain't got it. We ain't got the minerals. We ain't got the kahunas. We're not about that life. We're not. I don't know what this season has done to us. I don't know. Obviously, there's circumstances, but whatever the situation is, we're not about that life anymore, man. We're not. I commend you if you're going to keep your hopes up of thinking that we can get top 4 and we can beat Real Madrid, because, you know what I mean, good on you. We do need good vibes. But me personally, I've checked out. I'm on autopilot now.
Fair enough. So John Conway says, good evening, guys. Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 1. Thank you as always, John. We will get score predictions before we finish the show. So getting onto the team then. So we've spoken about Villa. Let's speak about Liverpool. If we're going to be completely honest, I think the back five picks itself at the moment, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you can really deviate from that. I don't think there's going to be any shouts for Ben Davies to start this game, is there?
No. I don't think there'd be much change as Callum, to be honest. I just can't.
That's one thing I was going to ask you, Dave. So Robertson, and again, I don't want people to think I'm being reactionary off the Real Madrid game. Robertson's not had a rest this season. Like it's kind of criminal. And for like last season, we were screaming at the club saying, "Get a left back in so Robbo can be rotated." The club went out and addressed it, but Tsimikas had COVID. Then he got 2 injuries, and he's not been able to. But we've also, as a team, not been in a position to actually play Tsimikas. I think me and you, Drifty, were joking about it through our WhatsApp group yesterday, wasn't it? Where we were like, "Yeah, Tsimikas should be playing." And I said to you, "When?" And you were like, "Cup games, in games where we're playing teams of low importance, or when we're 3-4-0 up with 20 minutes to go." And I said, none of those situations have pretty much happened this season, which is crazy. Given that we've got Real Madrid coming up, and although most people aren't confident about the result, we can still go through with a 2-0 win. Dave, would you actually start Tsimikas in this game, give Robbo a little bit of a rest, and potentially keep some in the reserve for that Real Madrid game, especially for Robbo, who's had such a sustained period in the team?
I actually wouldn't, and I'll tell you why. This is an important game. I mean, we lose this game, even draw the game, to be fair. That's it. It's curtains. Plus, the confidence then going into the Madrid game, you will not have won another game at Anfield, and we're playing them at Anfield. You have to win games. I just think we have to build something. We got beaten the other night. To be honest, I think we're lucky to be still in the tie. We're still in the tie. We're so bad, especially in the first half. 3-1 in Europe isn't a disaster of a result. You know, 2-0, as you said, you go through. But it's going to be hard to keep them out at Anfield. But I just think this game sandwiched in the middle is huge. I can't see huge changes. I really can't. It's just it's on a knife edge. We need to win this game on Saturday. Klopp's got to pick as good a team as he thinks can beat Villa. Villa are a decent side. With or without Grealish, they're a good side. So I think Klopp's got to go strong. I mean, you've got to go strong for this game. I mean, Madrid play Barcelona in the El Clasico at the weekend. That's another thing. Probably playing. Yeah. It's a nice little sandwich. So I think this is the meat in the sandwich. And I ain't eating any sandwich without meat in it. Do you know what I mean? We got to go strong.
My God.
I always think that about vegans, you know. Like, I don't necessarily have a problem with you being a vegan, but I just think when you eat a sandwich, what do you put in it?
I'll tell you what, I like a nice ham sandwich, baby. That's what I like.
That's what I mean. Ham, tuna, prawns. It doesn't matter. Like, if you don't put meat in it, what do you put in it? You're just literally eating vegetables with bread. You might as well just have, as Matt would say, a naked burrito.
Oh my God!
No, but remember, with a naked burrito, at least you could get some meat up in there, Jim. Remember, this is worse than a naked burrito, you know. This is just
no. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna have a sandwich with no meat, then you might as well just eat a naked burrito, right?
That's what you say, the naked sandwich. Having a naked sandwich.
Naked sandwich. Man just said, not even no bread. It's just the lettuce. No bread.
That's like going into McDonald's and asking for a cheeseburger without the cheese.
Yeah, I never. Listen, there's people that I've heard in the queue before say that. I'm like,
what? So you want a hamburger, sir?
Yeah.
I said a cheeseburger with no cheese. Yeah, so you want a hamburger then?
No, I want a
cheeseburger. I've actually seen that argument, you know. I've actually seen that argument.
Same.
Aaron LFC says no one thinks we can meet Madrid now. Our players do thrive off that sort of talk. So if we beat Madrid 2-0 or 3-1, will you still turn off autopilot? Will you still turn the autopilots off for Champions League? Big up the channel, Realist LFC channel.
No,
I mean
I'm on autopilot for the rest of the season because I watched the way PSG were going on yesterday. We ain't winning this thing, so let's just keep.
Do you know what? This is one thing I would say.
Please. I don't even want to think about Mbappe and Neymar versus Kabak and Phillips. I don't even want to think about it. No, I don't even want to think about it.
No, I'm not going to say that.
Before you ask me, Matt, yes, Neymar's absolutely sensational last night. every bit world class.
Really?
Are you happy, Matt?
Really?
I knew it was coming.
Carl, let me ask you a quick question.
I told you,
let me ask you a quick question. In it, just you should have stepped in. Listen, Carl, where did he play as well? Did you see where he played? Did you see where he played? Like position-wise, or jokes aside?
Yeah, he played in the 10.
He played in a 10.
That pass to Marquinhos? Oh, goodness me.
Weak foot. He don't have a weak foot. Listen, Neymar was an Mbappe.
You see that Neymar right there? That's the Neymar I want to see all the time. That's why I've got such an issue with him.
But Cal, because he's playing for a proper manager, bro. He's playing for a manager that he believes if I do what you told me, it'll work.
That is true.
It's the first real proper manager. I don't care what the Chelsea fans say. Tuchel can't handle personalities. But Thingy can. Pochettino can. Yeah. And Poch is like, bro, if you listen to what I'll say, we'll do this. And I know they're not playing that well in the league, but I feel they're a bit complacent in the league sometimes because the quality is not that good. But when you get him like motivated for the big game, you put your arm around him and you tell him, look, I watched him defending, tracking back. Like, he was on it yesterday. It was crazy.
Bro, towards the end of the game, Mbappe was tracking back all the way to left back.
Yeah,
and I was like, do you remember when they came and played us 2 years ago at Anfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason why I was able to even score against them a couple of times, or so many times, was because they weren't tracking back. Because if I remember in that game, I think Neymar was left and Mbappe was on the right. I'm trying to remember who was through the centre. Was it Cavani?
Well, when we played
Di Maria, maybe.
I think it might have been Di Maria.
Was it? Was it Di Maria?
It might have been Di Maria, yeah.
Di Maria. Well, anyway, all I remember is though that defensive discipline that I can now see under Poch, especially in Champions League, they never had that when they played against us. It just shows you though, just right. When you've got a manager who you feel like you believe in and you're like, no, he knows what he's doing. you see the difference. The difference is like is mad. But yeah, man, Neymar put on a clinic last night, 2 assists.
Absolutely. As Ganga Deeps, as Matt would say, Neymar's different, Cal. He is. When he's in that form, unplayable.
It was a hat trick of assists he got as well, wasn't it?
Was it a hat trick?
No. Was it 2?
I mean, I know Neymar's second goal was pretty much all his magic, but I'm sure it was still Neymar that played the ball to him, though.
What, Mbappe's second goal, you mean?
Yeah, Mbappe's second goal was magic. Like, he created the goal himself, but I'm sure the pass to him was still...
It was, left with his weaker foot.
So that means it was a hat trick.
It's a hat trick of assists, from
just
Neymar,
right.
yeah.
Special.
Who would have won that player at Anfield, Cal?
Nermit says, Navas saved PSG, very underrated goalkeeper. He is. Very underrated when he was at Real Madrid as well. Wasn't really a Real Madrid.
Remember, we had a conversation not long ago when I said I didn't really get bringing in Courtois for Navas because I don't feel like that was an improvement.
Yeah. Absolute quality. That game yesterday, that Bayern Munich game was absolutely quality as well. So
that's what football's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That was an advert for the game right there. That match there, Bayern Munich PSG. That was what football's meant to be.
It even had to change in weather. I think it was snowing in the second half.
Snowing hard as well. I was like, you're playing in that. Yeah, no.
And you know what? That also debunked the logic that Neymar can't travel down to Stoke on a Tuesday as well.
Let's calm down.
Someone else said that as well, isn't it, Cal?
This is what I mean. Precisely one little game and then you just blow everything out of proportion. like the Bayern Munich's pitch is very different quality to the Britannia. You guys are the Britannia, right?
Yeah, but they did say
there's potholes over in the Britannia, you know.
They did say something about the undersoil heating, something about they weren't going to put it on for the game. I can't remember why. Something about some energy saving something, but all I know is that there was no undersoil heating. I saw Mbappe and Neymar wear their gloves and they were absolutely fine. They were just fine, Cal. They were great.
Look, Neymar's absolutely quality. Absolutely quality.
He is.
Shout out to Daz TV as well. Go subscribe over to Daz TV if you haven't already. All right then, guys. So we've spoken about defense. Matt, I'm going to come to you for midfield. The midfield that started against Real Madrid was the same midfield that started against Aston Villa when we lost 7-2.
Yeah.
Klopp's stubborn and has his crazy moments, but that's why we love him. Klopp's not stupid, though. Surely there's no way he starts with that same midfield this Saturday, right?
Yeah, Cal, just say that beginning bit again, because there's probably people in the back that didn't hear you. The only game that we've been embarrassed this season was the same midfield that he did what?
No, that's not the only game we've been embarrassed in, to be fair, Drew.
No, there've been games that we've lost and we've been angry about. But I would say Real Madrid and Villa are the two where you go, that was embarrassing.
Man City.
No, because it was the goalkeeper being just on a mad one. I don't think the performance was embarrassing. I just think Alisson just did whatever the hell that was.
We were in that game for 3/4 of the game.
Yeah, we were. That wasn't an embarrassing game, Cal. That was just what the hell was Alisson doing?
I wouldn't say Man City was embarrassing.
You know what I mean? That was what the hell is Alisson doing for me. I wouldn't call that embarrassing.
Agree.
But the Villa game and the Real Madrid game, they were embarrassing. We weren't in that game from minute 1 to minute 90. That was just like, what the hell did I just watch? Yeah. And what did he do? He played the same midfield in the first embarrassment. He did what? We were going over to Madrid and he did what? He started the same midfield.
All right, we get it. We know.
I don't really get what that was all about.
We know what you're trying to say. Well, listen, all right, let me say this here, because Cal asked me, he said, do I think we're going to play that same midfield? No chance. He can't. Do you want to know something? Gini Wijnaldum and Naby Keita were really, really bad in that game. Like, really bad. Fabinho's definitely a starter for me. Thiago's definitely a starter for me. It's just a third one. I've got a funny feeling he might even play James Milner, you know? I think he may have been so annoyed with that performance, he's either going to go 4-2-3-1 and have Thiago and Fabinho as the sixes, or he's going to do the 4-3-3. But as I said before, it's going to be Fabinho, Thiago, and I think it might be James Milner, because I think he's going to look at Naby and go, you told me you were ready. You couldn't even last like 20, 25 minutes. Look at Jim and Adam and think, listen, I always trust in you, but you were very, very, very poor. Do you need a break, son? Do you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be maybe even Jones. Like he might just throw one, like every now and again, Klopp just like to throw one out there where you're like, oh, I didn't think Jones would be playing because he hasn't been in the rotation as of late.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised for me if it's James Milner, though. I think it might be James Milner.
So, Matt, then I'll stick with you and then I'll ask Drift and then Dave the same question. If you had to pick a midfield three, or if you go for 4-2-3-1, we'll still do the central players.
Yeah.
Who would it be?
If it was me, I'll go 4-2-3-1. So I would still have Thiago and Fabinho, except for the differences for me, though, I wouldn't have James Milner there. Obviously, because I'm going 4-2-3-1. I don't want to give too much away what I would do, but I think it's kind of obvious what the players that we have left at our disposal in terms of who would play. But basing it on, I don't think Klopp's going to do that. I think he's going to play James Milner as that third midfielder, in my opinion. Or, dare I say it, if it's not Milner, then he's just going to go, do you know what? I'll just go back to Gini Wijnaldum.
Yeah. Before I ask Drift and Dave, just give me 1 sec. Let me read that super chat. So Ace Industry says, lack of a defensive right back option limits us. #summer. Yeah, that's something we're going to discuss at some point. Shout out to the 1892 Reds podcast. Says Davey Legend. Go and subscribe over to their channel as well, doing some really good stuff as well. Drift, midfield three. Who is it for you?
I would do the pivot, as Matt just said, if it was a pivot.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Whenever I hear that word, friends, boy. Pivot!
Come in for your tea, pivot. Come in for your tea. Come in.
I would go with the Fabinho Thiago pivot, and I'll play Firmino in the number 10. I'll let you know what I'll be doing up front a little later, and that's what I would do. I'd go with that without Henderson. I feel like when we don't have Henderson, that's what we've got to do right now. But here, I'm just going to let you in on a little something. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like the way Klopp's been moving recently, I kind of think I know that what I'm saying is right. You know when you're shook and then people are like, nah, man, you'll be all right. Like, trust me, you will be all right. And then you keep on being cautious. And people are like, stop being stupid, man. And then you do whatever it is that you weren't being cautious of. And you're all right. And you're like, oh, maybe it is all right. And then what you thought was going to happen happens. And you go, I told you, I knew it. Fabinho's going to play centre-back for the rest of the season. That Real Madrid game has scared the shit out of him. I guarantee you. He's going to go back. He done it in the last 20 minutes of that game. And that said to me, he has thought, I can't rely on these two. I knew it. It was like a man who was scared to go outside because he thought he was going to catch a cold. And he was all right for a couple of days, and then he caught a cold, and now he's not coming back out again. He's like, I told you, if I come out, I'm going to catch a cold. I reckon he's going to play Fabinho at centre-back for the rest of the season. I think he's looked at that game and thought, yeah, I knew it. These two, they were all right for a little while, but I knew it. And I bet you he drops Phillips and he's going to play Kabak and Fabinho centre-back. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring the bad news before just so it doesn't shock you on Saturday, yeah? But anyway,
Please!
I would...
Please! No!
Don't let that be true. Please don't.
Do you know what?
Let that be true.
Do you know when?
I tell you what the messed up thing is that because Klopp is so capable of feeling that way, none of you lot have told me, nah, Jiff, nah, he's not going to do that.
Yeah.
There you go. He shook. He done it in the last 20 minutes, guys. He did it in the last 20 minutes. That was the proof to me. He reverted back to time.
Drift, I'm not gonna lie. As I said, Drift, every time we do a show, I write a few notes down to prep. And I've always got to pick up my pencil after you say something and just scribble stuff out. You've thrown a curveball here that I can't defend because I know it could potentially happen.
Oh,
Do you know what?
Damn it, man.
Do you know what Drift said? Yeah, it was in my mind. I didn't want to say it because I know if I say it, you lot are gonna say, "What about you're pissing in the wind again?" But it crossed my mind. I can't even front. But then I was like, "No, surely he won't." But I think Drift has a very, very valid point. I don't know whether that's because he felt like, it's Real Madrid and they're doing, I don't know, like maybe Fabinho just suits the way how they're playing. I think it's more of a case like what you said. Like he's probably figured to himself, damn, man, like these lot, they're just not getting it. Like I need them to do this. Or he's just realizing, like I just said again, they're just not at it. Like they're not, dare I say, they're not good enough against the quality that they're up against. And that's what I was always worried about. Because I always said this, you see Benzema, I know he didn't score, but do you know what problems Benzema caused with his movement?
Yeah.
No, I think it was more the wide players, you know, Matt. When I was watching back
you're right, but it's because he was dropping off about it. He was dropping off and allowing them.
Have you watched back the pundits explaining what I was saying about why it was Phillips's fault?
I have, but I'll be honest, I kind of disagree with Rio. And I'm not, before anyone goes crazy, I'm not saying I'm a better pundit or anything than Rio. Like, I have a lot of respect and love for Rio.
You still don't think it was Phillips at most fault, no?
No, not the most at fault. No, I don't. I genuinely don't.
Right.
I don't.
It was
Phillips,
Phillips, bro. It was, man.
No, not for me. He can't be the main man when the players run behind him and there's no one.
Yeah, but bro, he ran behind him because he's not good enough to know what to do to stop that happening.
All right, but Drift, if anyone runs up behind you, unless you've got eyes in the back of your head, literally, you're not going to know. So someone else.
He didn't run up behind him in that way, though, Cal. When you look at the position, he was positioned where he wasn't even looking for where Vinicius was. And he needed to drop back a bit to be able to assess the situation. Twice Cruz pointed.
Communication, though. That's why I talk about communication. Because if Trent's not shouted anything to him, then he's not going to know. If someone's behind you and no one shouts anything, you're not going to know.
All right, Cal, there's no stadium, yeah? So everybody can hear everybody talking, right? And not only that, twice Cruz pointed to Vinicius. How comes Phillips can't see the pointing? What is there like some kind of blindfold over Phillips or something?
All right, so this is what I'm going to say to defend Phillips on that. Yeah, just because I do that doesn't tell you where I'm exactly going to play the ball. Like, remember, Phillips could have been thinking he's going to play it out wide to Vinicius, not necessarily in the channel.
Well, I think you're defending him, man.
I'm not defending him. I'm just telling you, like, the fact
that goal was Phillips' fault, bro. It was, man.
It can't be all on him, Drift. It can't be.
I'm not saying it was all on him. I'm saying it was 80 on him. It was 10 on Trent, and it was 10 on the was it Jota that should have pressed against Finger? I think 10% on Jota, 10% on Trent. Because what you got to remember as well, bro, is that when you're saying that Trent is to blame more than Phillips, even though I get that he does have to cover, the ball's been played from the right-hand side of Real Madrid, so our left-hand side. The right back of our team cannot be the one you're most saying should be at fault for a ball coming all the way from the left-hand side of the pitch. Like, come on,
no,
bro.
It was our left to our right.
Yeah, so you can't really say, no, it was central. It was down the middle, Cal. Where the ball landed was right down the middle. Vinicius' chest control was on the edge of the D. You know, the circle on the edge of the box. You can't blame Trent for that, Cal, man. You can't.
I'm not saying Trent gets the sole blame. I'm just saying Nat can't take sole blame for this, in my opinion, or can't get the majority of the blame. Like, there's three people.
Guys, can I just say something about Nat Phillips? I'll tell you what about Nat Phillips, right? Even talking about Nat Phillips, here we are in April, playing in a quarter final of a Champions League. Nat Phillips, the guy we took back on loan, I was at Stuttgart last year. This guy, like, wouldn't have been anywhere near the first team. Let's be real about it. If the other guys were fit, he's actually done okay. This is his biggest game he's probably ever played in his life. Real Madrid quarterfinal Champions League. It's higher than international level, to be honest. Some international games, and for him, he got caught once or twice. His positional sense was very, very poor for the one you're talking about, Drifty. It really was. no matter if there's any crowd in the pitch or not. But I just thought, like, I can't put huge amounts of blame on him. I mean, I don't think he won't even be there next season. Well, he'll be there, but he won't be playing if all the boys are back. He's done okay, but we got to stick with him. I don't think we have any choice. Kabak actually was decent the other night. I thought Kabak was decent. Phillips was the weak link in the centre backs, unfortunately.
Yeah, I actually watched the game back. I thought we were quite harsh with our reviews on Kabak.
No, we got slapped. We got slapped like school kids, bro. The ratings weren't high.
We lost, obviously. But I would say I think it was a bit harsh on Kabak because when I look back at the highlights, I was like, do you know what? Kabak weren't that bad, but as a team, we were bad. Like, we were shocking. As a team, we didn't turn up. What was the most frustrating thing for me when I watched it back again was I realized even again, like, you're thinking, maybe something here, there could have changed. Nothing would have changed. You know what it was? We just went to Real Madrid's training ground, and for whatever reason, we just froze.
Yeah.
We just literally froze. Like, no one, whenever people were receiving passes, the touch was heavy. People weren't making like 2-yard passes at all. It was so weird to see.
It reminded me of a summer tour in the US.
Yeah.
Summer tour in the US. The first game where everything just goes out the window and no one cares about it. That's what
true.
it's like.
And
that's a great summer.
Definitely. And here's the thing, just to end it quickly as well regarding this year. Junior Wijnaldum, I know he's got some critics, but here's the thing. He's one of our safest passers, so to speak. He's good at ball retention and recycling possession, yeah? I went back and watched it. I was like, was Junior Wijnaldum all right? Remember that clip I showed you, man? Where they're attacking and Junior Wijnaldum just stands there for about 3 seconds and doesn't move. Like he freezes. Like he's thinking about something completely different. Like he's forgotten he's playing football. Bro, I thought that was mad.
And you know what's crazy, yeah? For their second goal, I don't know if you lot know, but it was pretty much the same thing. Cruz played the ball over the top. Nobody, I think it was Salah and Fabinho, I think it was. That were the two players that were closest to him because he was on the other side. He was on their left, our right, that for the second one. Again, looked up, nobody anywhere near him. And that's why he was able to play that ball over the top that, Trent, like, I don't know what that header was about, but obviously he was like worried about Vinicius getting in behind him. Yeah. It was like, we didn't press them, not even for a second during that game. Not even for a second. So if Jota and Salah and Fabinho had even pressed Cruz even a little bit, he wouldn't have been able to have all that time to play the pass. So I get that point that Cal's making, that you have to stop the source. You have to. Yeah. Jota, especially for the goal, for the first goal, Jota did literally just stand there and watch Cruz point twice and then play a 50-yard pass. Yeah, it's like, Jota, what the fuck is that all about? You know what I mean? So
I did a chat about it and said that this game will be won and lost in the midfield. Sadly for us, that guy Tony was in cruise control in the midfield. He literally was in cruise control. No one could get near him. Near him. And what is he, in his 30s now? Was he? The German international. I mean, our midfield just wasn't at it. And that was the problem, I think.
Indeed. Let's get back to the Villa game, though. So a couple super chats before I come to you on your midfield that you start, Dave. Yeah. So MF says, hope no high line up to the Villa penalty box. That's a slight exaggeration, but that's funny.
We're going to play that high line forever.
Maybe. Aston Industries, watch Klopp play Gini or Milner in centre-back. It's coming. Oh, no. Aston, no.
Let's not do these things. Let's not.
No. Kadir, Drift, he's not going to do that. LOL regarding Fabinho at centre-back. Dave, who do you reckon we should play in midfield this Villa game?
I think obviously Fabinho will be there. I know Drifty'd like him at centre half, but I just think we'd be missing too much in midfield without Henderson there. I just can't see him being moved from there.
Oh no, I don't want it, Dave. I'm scared he's going to do it. I don't want it, but I'm scared he's going to do it.
But I think Fabinho, Thiago, and Milner. I actually agree with Matt. I think Milli Vanilli will be in there. I really do. He'll give us energy. He'll give us plenty of energy, and I think he'll keep it quite tight. I can't see huge changes. I really can't. We need to
Fair
win
enough.
this game. We need 3 points, guys. We need 3
No,
points.
100%. Desperately need 3 points.
You know?
Desperately.
I'll be honest. I could see Klopp doing a bit of a mad one and playing Fabinho's holder and then Milner and Jones.
Really?
I know.
Rest Thiago for the Real Madrid game.
Or just throw in Jones. We've hardly seen Jones. It's not like he's not been out of the team because he's been rubbish. So I think
Thiago has to play
Klopp
in this
might
game.
look to.
Thiago
I
has to
don't
play in
know.
this game.
I don't know. I mean, I
If
would
Thi-
play Thiago. I mean,
Jones played
my
exceptionally
style-
well for the England under 21, so he should be
Yeah.
he should be in form.
and he's got a goal in him as well.
No,
And he's
you're
got a
right.
goal in him.
But Thiago for me has to play because I say you, but obviously Klopp in it. He made the mistake by not starting him.
Yeah.
Thiago came on and obviously improved us to a certain degree in midfield. He did, especially from an attacking point, got us playing decent football, especially towards the end when we started dominating. But it was like dominating without doing anything. It's like hold on to the ball and I'm probing.
Yeah.
Against Aston Villa, if you're gonna play, in my opinion, if you play Thiago, I see if he goes Jones, I'm not too sure about that. Thiago and Jones, I don't know. I know Jones has got good defensive attributes, but I wouldn't say it's one of his strongest points. Even though I've seen him have good games, for example, like Tottenham and so to speak. And I think was Leicester the other game as well? I'm trying to remember, but
Wolves as well.
I'm worried though that if
No, I
he
might be
plays
wrong.
Thiago and Jones, that's really, really like brazen. I would say that's really like you're basically saying like, no, we're winning this game. Like I'm gonna throw two of my arguably most offensive midfielders out of the ones that we do have. Let's be real. Thiago's offensive, obviously, from breaking the lines of his passing, and Jones, obviously, as you said, can get a goal. Whereas James Milner is more industrious, and dare I say, even Gini Wijnaldum is more industrious as well. Even though he can come up with a big goal, but I just don't see that Gini at the moment. So you'd have to say Jones. Do you know what? Do you think he might even throw another curveball and play and start Ox? Would you be surprised if he started him? No, seriously. You don't think that's happening at all?
But listen, Klopp's all over the place.
Saying.
Like,
Anything's
when I
possible.
try and think about, I know hindsight is 2020, and it's very easy to think it's a bad idea to do it after we play badly. Because in all defense of Naby, I don't know if everyone would have been that angry if we'd have known he was going to play Naby from like 24 hours before the game. We might have thought, well, you know what? Naby can break the lines. It's not the worst thing in the world. Like, I don't even think we would have been that angry about it. Hindsight is easy to be vexed, innit? But when I do try and deep the decision to play Naby over Thiago in our biggest game of the season away to Real Madrid, I just can't get my head around it. Like, it must have been a guilt trip. Like, Naby must have helped put the cones out and pack away the balls or something. He must have guilted man into playing him. Like, I'm trying to just think, like, did he buy Klopp's wife that gift that Klopp couldn't find because it was sold out or something? Like, I'm trying to think to myself, how did Naby manage to get himself into Klopp's first team for the biggest game of the season?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly, like, I can't get my head around that. Of all the midfielders that got played could have been played, Naby's the one that makes the least sense in terms of like how much game time and how much he's been involved up to this point.
If Naby didn't start against Madrid midweek, he would have started on Saturday. I'd say he would have been straight in. You know what I mean?
But it would have probably made more sense. The Villa game would make more sense.
I agree. Do you know what the thing is? To drop. See, I didn't even look. I looked at it as more. All right, there's two ways to look at it. Oh, he's bringing in Naby Keita, or he's dropping Thiago. I looked at it when I first saw it. It's like you're dropping Thiago. The reason I say that, this is what we brought Thiago for the club for. Into the club. Sorry, big European night. Like, we need this. Like, this is Thiago's bread and butter. Champions League. He just won it the season before, and you're dropping him. Why? Because you think he's tired. Thiago's not 37 years old. He's not Gary McAllister when we brought him. This is Thiago. He's 29.
Even McAllister played most games.
Bro. Yeah. It's mad. When I actually deep it, I was just like, as much as I love Naby Keita, I was thinking, no, this don't even make no sense. I was so shocked. I was like, Naby Keita. Yeah, I know he needs a chance, but you're dropping Thiago. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, then, guys. Before we do score predictions, then that front three. I think the only one who's nailed on to start is definitely Salah. Well, in fact, two, Salah and Jota, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to and it's not. This isn't an agenda. It's just what I would do. I would actually, as I said, play Bobby in the 10. I'm going Jota left, Salah right, Origi down the middle. I think Mane needs to hold the bench and get a rest, get himself together, whatever it is that needs to be done. I'm dropping Mane for this game. I'm dropping Mane for this game. And you know what? Origi's got a point to prove. I know a lot of people now do have an agenda, but in all honesty, if Origi can't start against Aston Villa when he's got Jota, Salah and Firmino still around him, then I think Klopp probably.
I think Origi might be injured.
Oh, is he? I thought it was just a knock and he was fine.
I don't think he's...
Someone else said he's injured as well in the chat.
Is he still injured? I heard that Klopp say there's no injuries to the team apart from the long-term absences. So I thought everyone was back now.
Maybe then.
If Origi's not fit, then that completely changed. I don't want Mane to play. Honestly, not only is he getting on my nerves, but I just feel like he's not right. I feel like he needs a break. He does, man. Yeah, he needs a break.
You're right.
Do you know what? I would do the same thing in terms of I want to drop Mane for his own good. Reason being is I want him to be angry when he plays against Real Madrid. I want him to kind of be like, because Mane does strike me as someone that like he'll be angry like that he didn't start. And you'll just see him maybe it's either going to work or it's not going to work. It's going to go either or. It's either Mane's going to have another stinker because emotions catch out of him, or he's going to have an absolute blinder where you're like, what? See this Mane? We haven't seen him since the first 3 games of the season. So I would drop him as well, just to see if we can get more out of him.
What about yourself, Dave?
I just saw a comment about Naby that was fucking hilarious, but I'm not gonna bring it up.
I'll quickly read out this super chat then. So Pimp in Distress says, love the show, guys. By the way, forget Tom Selleck. Allison looks like Ron Jeremy. You'll never walk alone. All right. Obviously,
he does look like a 70s porn star. Has to be fair.
Go and Google Ron Jeremy, guys, if you don't know who he is. Dave, who starts up top for you?
Well, Mo Salah, king of Egypt, in straight away anyway. Jota has got to start. And I think Bobby comes back. I think Bobby's back. I think Mane in the mirror, he needs a rest. I think Klopp will make that change. But I think Mane needs a rest big time. I mean, he was this banging, what Drifty's saying there, I was getting annoyed watching the screen the other night. He's hitting the ground. He's blaming the grass nearly. Like, you know what I mean? He's falling. Yeah. And the free kick he should have got was like the boy who cried wolf. The referee's probably saying he's been falling around all over the place. I'm not going to give him that one, even though that was a free kick. And that's the problem. And as Matt says, it's perfect. Drop him, have him on the bench, seeding and ready to rock. Either come on against Villa last 20 and then start against Madrid midweek, because we want an angry Mane for Madrid. I'd rest him the weekend. I really would.
You know what? I'd even have Mane on the bench against Madrid. I honestly would. It's starting to get to that point.
I don't know about that.
I'm starting to get to that point where I'm thinking he's his own worst enemy at the moment. Bro, and you know what's mad, yeah? We're underestimating the whole. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses for him because of how much I love him. I'm just trying to really deep this and make logical sense of the situation. And a couple of people hit me up in the DMs. Shout out to the guy who had this conversation with. I can't remember the name. Apologies. And he was saying that he even knows someone who he works with who had COVID. And even though he didn't have any real symptoms and didn't get like really messed up by it, he's noticed that his breathing, he gets tired quicker and he can't do as much strenuous work as he used to. So he's effectively okay. He hasn't got it anymore and whatever, but he feels weaker in his body. I watched a documentary about a guy who's in a body coma now. His brain and everything is completely okay, but his body's in a coma now and his body don't work properly anymore. Like, I think we do underestimate that when you get that, you might not be right afterwards. And I remember me and you were talking last night, Matt, and you agreed with me. If you actually think about Mane's performances before and after he had it, they're like night and day. He started the season amazingly. He was playing well. He was batting it up. He was man of the match against Chelsea. He was actually on it. And then he got thingy. And then ever since he come back, he ain't been himself. That can't be a coincidence. It can't be.
It could be long COVID. Isn't that what you call it? Long COVID.
Yeah, it can't be
so
a coincidence, guys. It can't be, man.
The thing is, because what I was saying to you is this year, sometimes we forget. Because they're athletes, we just think like they're athletes, so whatever they kind of have or kind of get, they'll kind of be fine. Once they get rid of it, they kind of go back to normal. Well, if anything, it's going to affect an athlete more so because they have to be in tip-top condition, innit? They have to be at maximum capacity all time. So, and it's mad because some people even say to you, no, but Salah had it, Simcas had it. Yeah, but it affects everyone differently. It's like if you have, like, I don't know, say you have a head cold, yeah? I've had a head cold before. Some people's head colds are bad, but some people's head colds are really bad where, like, they literally have to be in bed all day, can't move nothing. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same thing, you know, when, like, for example, you might get a cold or a flu, just a normal cold or a flu. Some people's cold, it just might be a minor, you know what I mean? Like a little sniffles and whatever. Some people's colds are so bad, like, they're literally bedridden. Because remember, it just affects everyone differently, no matter what you get. That's why you can't always say, well, if I've got a cold and you've got a cold and I dealt with it, you should be fine then. It doesn't work like that. So it's the same thing with Mane and COVID. So it could very well be.
COVID, I can speak to COVID because me and my wife both had COVID and she got over hers a lot quicker than I did. I guess she might just be built stronger than me as well, to be fair. So
it's the immune system. Something to do with the immune system. Everybody's immune system is different. Something
different,
yeah. V says midfield when we got thrashed 70 by Villa, Genie, Fab, and Keita. Where have we seen that recently? We spoke about that. All right, guys. Before we let we head off, first and foremost, thanks, Dave. But we need your score predictions. Obviously, Drift, we know you don't. Dave is our guest. I'm going to put you on the spot first. Liverpool versus Aston Villa. What's the score going to be?
2-1 Liverpool. Mo Salah and Jota and Watkins for Villa.
Okay. Matt?
I wish I could be as positive as Dave, you know, but I don't know. All right, if Grealish is not playing, I agree with Jeff, they're not a one-man team, but I still feel like he enhances them a lot, though. Like, he just brings something different to them. I'm going on the basis that Grealish ain't playing. Dare I say, I think it's going to be 1-1. Don't want to say it, but I think it might be 1-1. Reason being, Anfield hasn't been good recently. Like, what have we done at Anfield that's been convincing? And what worries me is that are Liverpool going to think about the result, what happened against them last time? So I don't know. I'm going
to give you one, Cal. I'm going to give you one.
Sorry, 1 sec. Do you know I'm laughing because I feel like every single show, me and Matt predict the same things. I always go after Matt, so listen, I'm just copying him. I think 1-1 as well.
You think it as well?
Yeah, like Villa.
Make that a hat trick, bro.
Oh, okay.
Three of us.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna stop the bleeding, but we're still gonna lose the fight.
Like their defense is strong, and their goalkeeper has been phenomenal this season.
So I'm the only one with a bit of meat in the sandwich. You three are vegans, basically.
literally, I'm on a diet, Dave.
No, do you know what, Dave? Dave, here's what it is, yeah. I put meat in the sandwich, but as I was walking to the front room, it dropped on the floor, and I'm like,
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. Dave hit a nail in the head, you know. He did. What we're saying, green pepper, celery, and lettuce.
No butter.
The funny thing is, I literally just thought about it. I eat egg sandwich, which is technically a vegan sandwich. So I guess there is a way to have a sandwich without meat in it. But yeah.
Nice.
If you eat egg every single day, then you'll end up constipated. So that's not really a good idea.
I'll tell you one thing though. If we, again, let's say we do draw the game, as you said, it's basically a draw is basically a loss to us right now. It
has to be three. It's 3 points or nothing. 3 points or nothing.
Has to be, man. Has to be.
Lord Walker, out of the box. Why not play Mane on the right? His defense rate is more than Salah and could help cover teams focusing on Trent's side. It's a good shout. I like that idea.
And then play Salah down the middle and play Jota on the left. You could do that.
You could try, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Because Salah on the left doesn't work.
Salah on the
left. No.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Scoop on Football says Drifty versus Scoop, battle over Son, or Scoop lays into Liverpool's attack and plans summer transfers. You decide. I bring it to the show on Friday. Looking forward to that, Scoop. Go
battle over Son. Hold on, Scoop. Do you think Son's good or bad?
You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out.
I need to understand the. I'm not going into the battle blindfolded, bro. I need to know what I'm going into.
This is what we do on a Friday. We're going blind, bro. Not like that. Pause.
I'm not playing Marco Polo with blindfold, bro.
Agopa. Guys, I clocked why Naby is struggling. The guy is struggling. Whoa, I'm not gonna read that.
Did I miss the joke, bro?
No, read the comment. I can't read that. We'll get the money.
I'll read it if you want.
We'll get
that was the joke that I was laughing at before. He turned it into a super chat.
We'll get thingy for that.
We can't read out, but that's a legendary super chat. That is a legendary super chat.
That's what I was laughing at before. Yeah,
I saw it as well.
Let me paraphrase. He releases all of his testosterone before the game.
Yeah.
Which could be why he's always injured.
Rumor has it. This is him while he's releasing.
You might not love him. Dirty.
You know what?
You might not him dirty.
I'll let you in on a little secret. People who've got a lot of testosterone, lose their hair, and people who don't have a lot of testosterone normally can keep growing their hair. So
are you saying something?
What I'm saying is, have you No, the point I'm making is, have you not noticed? Yeah,
kind of sound full of estrogen, you know.
No, I'm saying
I see you, Drip. Don't worry, bro. I see you drifting. Oh.
No, I'm saying, if you not noticed recently, Naby's hair's been changing, right? His hair's been changing recently. Is it just me, or has he been getting more bald and more bald?
He has been.
So maybe he's trying to get rid of some of that testosterone, isn't it?
I think Manscaped
he's using Manscaped on the wrong part of his body. If that's the case.
He's trying to get rid of some of that testosterone.
Hey, we are getting shut down tonight. Wait,
oh boy, we're gonna end it there.
It's just men talking about men stuff. That's all it is, bro.
Dave, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. We've gone from Ron Jeremy to testosterone release, only on a Kopish show, innit? But Dave, let people know where they can find you, bro.
Dave's LFC Chats on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. That's it.
Indeed. And also, once you click you can click on Dave's name in the title of this video as well, and you can go and subscribe straight away over there. So yes, thank you very much, Dave, for making time to come on the show. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope everyone in the comments did. I think they did from the feedback we were seeing there. So yeah, people, we're back tomorrow night for Rival Watch and Kopish calling. So until tomorrow, stay safe, stay blessed. Release the testosterone if you have to. We are Kopish.
Naby Kings means a whole new thing now.